again, I'm bringing up, I'm a mother but I have 2 girls. So I'm trying to be more conscious of what I'm teaching them, because I'm realizing I have hangups. Like, I constantly put things on. I'm like, oh, it doesn't fit as good as that. My kids are like, Mom, if you don't like it, change it. Don't complain. And then they're like, don't complain. Stop fucking eating that croissant. I mean, they don't swear, but they're like, stop eating that croissant, right? Or just know you're beautiful. So who cares?
Oh my God. Your kids are just so like wise.
But we think it's wise, but it's just the facts, right? Like when they saw the whole thing going on with the riots here in LA, and I showed them, and they said, Mom, he killed someone. He should go to jail. It's murder. He's a policeman. It's even worse. So why are there riots? Murderers go to jail, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, because we have all this backstory and all these issues. But when you talk to a child, it's like, okay, you're beautiful the way you are. My little one says, God makes everybody in different shapes and sizes. Okay. Wow. Come in. Sorry, hang on one second. I'm sorry. So
I think we just have a different set of standards, you know, as we get older. We just have a different understanding about how society works. So that's why you have to potentially put your boobs away when you get older. And I mean, I don't think you should ever put your boobs away personally. I think your boobs should
I have nice boobs. It's one of my nicest assets, but I've covered them up for years because I thought it was older. And Freedom. I'm like, hey, I just, you know, I think I grew up in a pretty conservative.
Susie's boobs.
Yeah, free your hostages. I think they should be out. And it's all dependent upon the situation. Again, I mean, it's like if you're going to, you know.
Right, I'm not going to go to work with my boobs out.
Well, I mean, if you're a stripper or something like
work
that.
at Hooters, whatever.
Trying to get a promotion, you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
promotion.
Great. Get a promotion.
Yeah. I'll just take out one. For that promotion. Just trying to look sexy.
So for the next promotion, you got the other weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Quarter review, left boob. Annual review, right boob. And then for the bonus, we do both, right? Like for the big year-end.
Oh, I thought you were going to go somewhere else. Like,
oh, no. Vagina is only for running in public. That's public, you know.
Who runs it anyway?
I'm just saying, women do, like, first of all, it's not really good for women to, like, be covered up with like spandex and all this stuff. It's just not healthy. You need to breathe, right? So if guys can fucking breathe, why can't we breathe? Like, I love the fact at the beach, I don't have to wear pants. I love it. I realize that's my favorite thing about the beach. Going without pants.
Well, you have bikini bottoms on, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, of course. I'm not naked. My vagina isn't out.
No, I just
I get arrested.
I have to clarify. So
but I'm saying it's not abnormal for somebody to walk around in their swimsuit bottoms or a swimsuit. Like, you see their butts. It's no big deal. No, it doesn't matter, big, small, whatever. You're at the beach.
I see that now anyway, because fashion dictates that that's okay for at least younger women to walk around with their asses hanging out of their really.
No, that's a different story altogether. I'm talking about in general. What do you think, Jenny?
Whether we should walk around with our asses out. You know what? I was watching some athletics the other day, and like these women who were doing the pole vault. And I was like, who invented that sport? It's so crazy. And they were wearing like just knickers, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's practical. It's practical. We should be doing that, like for working out, gym stuff. And the thing is, I think if we stopped hiding our bodies so much, people would just be like comfortable. But you know what? I was going to bring this up earlier. Reminded me. Apparently, women in Cuba have the healthiest self-esteem when it comes to in relation to their bodies because of the lack of advertising. That's what the study I read at some point. I don't know the study. I can't remember the study.
Wait, you said
it was like a general. They have like the
lack of advertising. Is that what you said? Lack of advertising. Oh,
yeah, it's like no advertising in Cuba. So therefore, like these women. I feel, they haven't been bombarded with these images of like, this is what beautiful is.
Standards, kind of thing. Horrible societal standards.
They've got their, like, they're like, I'm good. I'm great. And, and they tend to be like, like a bit bigger and curvier, and they just absolutely love it. Love themselves. Yeah. And I'm just like, we just need to be more accepting of our own bodies and other people's bodies, and just be like, there's different types of beauty. And that's beautiful because people are into different things.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree with that, especially because I moved from Chicago, the Midwest, to LA. And when I was in Chicago, I know people always say that whenever they're from somewhere else and come to LA, they're like a 10 and I was never 10. Okay. But I felt more comfortable in my body. I still feel comfortable out here, but I know that people look at me as a plus size person in LA. No, when I was in Chicago, nobody viewed me as plus size. You know, I was size 8 and, you know, 8 to 10. I have broad shoulders, right? But in UK, that would be like size 14, 14 UK, right?
I think it's one size up. 8, yeah, it'll be 10 or 12, which is standards here. That's average.
Yeah. But in LA, average is like, you know, size 0, size 2, right? So I am considered like plus size. Like I'm plus size model, actually. I'm size 8, 10. I model plus size. Like when they're looking for plus size, I'm considered plus size. So, you know, it kind of messes with your head. I'm old enough to know that a little bit unrealistic standards, you know? But there's only 2. There's no in-betweens with our advertising, right? They only have the really skinny, or they have plus size. They have size 16, size 20. So I'm like, that's it. So
that's like a normal.
There is no normal. Yeah, exactly. No, there is no normal. So that's really bad. And it is advertising, and it is what we're bombarded with images. And then guys expect that too. They're looking for that. The only people I know with perfect bodies are the ones that they're just really good genes. They're super skinny. And then they went and bought boobs. They went and bought boobs because they didn't have boobs, right?
Yeah, you don't get the skinny with the big boobs combo often. Like that's a unicorn. You know?
Right. Well, but they're it's not their shape, right? So they're born really skinny, and then they go buy boobs. Or like for my case, I have real boobs. Guys don't necessarily like them because they're real. They're natural. They move. When you lay down, they move. They fall to the side, you know? So it's weird.
So twisted. That's so twisted that guys are preferring the fake ones compared to that is wrong.
Standard.
When you get
they don't
old,
know.
Gravity takes over. That's why.
Yeah, but I lift.
Well,
I lift.
But a lot of women don't do that, so.
I'm not trying to turn you on, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm just letting you know where they're coming from.
No, I think that they're so used to like images. I don't even know if they use Playboy anymore, but images from the internet and this and that. And it's like when the boobs don't move, some guys don't even know. It's like those are fake boobs. Those are just fake. Do you not know? Like. So we're so used to the perfect being a fucking cosmetic surgery version of fake boobs or altered fake bodies. Everything is fake. It's like our perfection. There is no perfection. You know, it's not realistic, our standards of women.
But I think it must be very hard living in LA because the standards, and also, for example, even just like, you know, hearing it, size 0 to, that sounds really unattractive to me. That sounds really, I just don't think that's nice. You don't want anybody, so, you know, like, oh my God, like, I love the way your ribs just like protrude out, you know, like chest is really hot. You know, like, that's weird, man. I don't like that. But right. I think men like to be with women who eat, you know, like who have a healthy appetite. And actually, I think there is a connection between having a healthy appetite and having a healthy sexual appetite as well.
Yeah.
So,
do you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because apparently I remember reading something and you're saying something about basically it's both things are about, you know, like providing your body with like pleasure, kind of like not nutrients like this sexually, but like it's a kind of, you know, something that's good for you. So
nurturing.
Yeah.
Nurturing.
So if you're depriving yourself of food and all this kind of stuff, you've probably got some weird dynamics going on with your own body, I think, you know? Yeah. So, and I think, it kind of like trickles down from your relationship to food that will inform your relationship to sex to a degree.
So do you think that's true for men too? Like the bodybuilders are just not as good as sex. Like they're not as into it. They're just more into their bodies. You know what I mean? Like the super bodybuilders and stuff.
I was just thinking because like Vaughn's a bodybuilder, so I was going to be like,
"What? Vaughn's a bodybuilder?"
I was like,
"No, don't listen."
Oh, you used to be.
Well, I'm in the.
So I wanted to have a dig at you. I was just going to be like,
"Yeah, let's go.
You know
let's
what
go,
I mean? Like,
I think. No, that's interesting.
To be honest, that's a bit different though, because with the bodybuilding, there's like self-discipline and things like that. So maybe they're more aware of their body, things like that. It's more of a healthy thing, I'd say. So maybe that would help. Like,
healthy to a point, but it gets a little crazy, don't you think?
I don't think there's any correlation between that for men, and maybe for women with with the food and sex. But for men, it's just we just want to have sex.
For me, it's food instead of sex. Food instead of sex. If I'm gaining weight, I'm not having sex. If I look skinny, you'll be like, damn, she's getting some. If I'm eating, you're like, she's not getting it. So.
No. So what's going on with the dating scene then for you in California then? Are things starting to get back to some sort of normal or
Okay. Jenny, are you single? Are you like, what's your deal? Married, single?
No, not married. I am seeing someone, and it's getting to that voice. It's like a little tipping point is approaching. It's getting a bit little pinchy. So I'm getting okay.
Are you at that year? Has it been a year?
No, God, no. It's really early days, but it's like,
okay.
What is
somebody's cool feelings.
What does pinchy mean? What does that
You
mean?
know, I had an ex-boyfriend say that, and I was like, never heard that word. So I kind of like it. People are like, what does that mean? I'm like, yeah, I just introduced you to a new word. It means like, it's like getting a bit, it's like a little awkward in a way, because that's more me, I think. I think he's like, just like super cool. But because I'm like, oh, like, I really like this guy. And like, he's giving me vibes like it's, you know, it's mutual. But I think I'm like, I always, you know, the intensity, like, you know, lever, I always crank it up all the way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, I kind of like, you know, kind of snap the intensity lever off. I'm like, no, and then like a fire. And so smoke coming out. So I'm a bit at this stage because we've actually been on 4 dates, but because of COVID, like for example, our first date was like 2 days long because like we were drinking in the park, and then we were like, yeah, we like each other. And then he's like, okay, you can come back tomorrow. We can have a few drinks, and you know. And so then I stayed, and then I was there until like the next evening. And he was like, you want to stay? And I was like, I gotta go. And then that was pretty much. And then like the second date was like 3 days long. You know, and then third date was like 4, you know, but and then like recently it's just been 3 days. Yeah, it's been really, but then recently, the last weekend we spent together, it was weird because this was our first like external date outside of his house.
Okay.
So yeah, that was really interesting because like it was, you know, we're like, oh, like, are we going to be the same? You know what I mean? Or are going to notice some shit about you I don't like? But it was basically we both say outlandish shit in front of everybody.
Oh, that's good. Then that's good that he's fun.
Yeah. Oh, he's so fun. He's like, yeah, he's funnest. So we're just like, oh yeah, we're just totally the same. But I did catch him. Well, yeah, I thought I caught him looking at this girl, but it was okay because basically she was wearing a see-through dress and a white thong, and everybody was looking. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
you know, I was a little bit at first, but. Yeah, I did look, but then I thought he looked
I would like,
much.
But see, I would say when someone does that and it's obvious, I would say, oh my God, look at her. I would say like, oh,
he did do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was standing by us. I don't know why. Oh, you know, kind of thing. Like her ass was literally on our table for 10 minutes, which is really weird. Like, didn't invite you to park it there. So maybe she didn't know.
Why did you say excuse me? Or there's a fly.
Yeah, I was like, excuse me. Yeah, thank you. This is not the toilet. You need to get
right. Stop. This is not a stop. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Like, ooh, yeah. Like back it up. No. Go for it. But then, so we had a little thing, but then it was fine because then I was like, yeah, what you're saying, like you didn't do it in a lusty way because I thought that was like too many looks, but he was like, I just couldn't believe it, and I was like, yeah. I looked a few times. Okay, it's fine.
Okay, so at least he brought it up. Yeah.
It's fine. So that was the only thing, but otherwise we just had a blast. Yeah. So,
oh wow, good. That's so nice. I've been trying to date. Trying to. So I got divorced 2.5 years ago. Well, separated 2.5 years ago, but you know, really without him, was divorced last year. And no, it's been like 2.5 years since a man has given me an orgasm. So that's pretty fucked up. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just realizing I actually, I'm saying this out loud because it's hard for me to even say, like, I realized it last week. I'm like, that's really weird, right? Like that's, especially because I was married for so long. So I was used to sex every other day for 20 years. I mean, maybe the most, I was a business trip, or we were in a fight, and if we were in a fight, it'd be 1 week, like the longest would go 1 week.
Yeah.
And you know,
that's
we both were ready to murder each other at 1 week. More me, him, because I'm like, you know. So like once it was over, it was really hard. Like I was like, I can't think. I don't know what's going on. And my friend's like, my girlfriend, she's like, you're being a bitch. I'm like, well, I haven't had sex. She's like, but you can't even like complete a sentence. I'm like, that's because something has changed chemically in my body. I'm not used to going without sex. It's been a part of my life, my whole adult life. I've been with one person. It's been regular. So I said, now I'm in like this new dating mode, and I'm like, wow, it is bullshit. It takes so much time to like hunt for dick, you know, like I'm like hunting for my food. I'm like a hunter and gatherer now, where I'm like, every time I had a craving, I'd walk into my kitchen and I had a stocked fridge. So now it's like bullshit. Like there's no food in my fridge. I'm hungry. What do I do? I literally got to go hunt and kill my food now. And it's,
yeah, you like, you check the freezer, like there's nothing even left in that. It's like,
right.
Gotta get
the process. Yeah, the grocery stores are closed. It's COVID. I got to go out and hunt for my shit, get my spears on and stuff. And it's just like, that's what I feel like. Maybe and it's so weird.
With a hand gesture as well. Hunt.
Yeah, it's so mad. it's really tough because I don't know really what I like, what to look for in that category. I actually asked Mom before, I'm like, how can you tell if somebody has like a, you know, like, can you tell? He's like, look at their thumbs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be surprised that someone's like, I waited this long and then they have like a, you know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know. I just started dating. I finally got on like dating apps, and there are a lot of weirdos. I got on Tinder, I got on Bumble, I got on Hinge.
Yeah.
I would like to date an English guy though. I like foreign guys. I realize I really like accents a lot. It's kind of my thing. And it's just easy. Like English guys are straightforward. Like American guys are so passive aggressive. I'm not passive. I don't understand. So I'm like, if you don't tell me or you do go around, I'm not going to understand. So fuck, you know.
I think English guys are straightforward.
Yeah.
No way. No
you don't
way.
think English guys are straightforward?
No. I find many of them passive aggressive. So that's really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like, for example, the guy I'm dating at the moment, the fact he's so straightforward is really refreshing. We've been like just really straight with what we're expecting, managing expectations, and it's really refreshing. But this is rare because usually like last year those two guys I dated and I had to break up with them because they just started being passive aggressive, and you're just like, God, like get some balls. Like you do want to like break up with me, but actually no, I'm the bad one, so I'm just going to call you out on your shit and then I have to pull the plug, you know what I mean? So it's just like, because like one guy, I think like the passion's gone. So I'm like, so why are we still seeing each other, you know? It's just like, and then I called it. I was like, you know what? You're saying the passion's gone, so let's just leave it. And he's like, why are you so logical? I'm like, because you just rejected me, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other guy was like, out of the blue, he's just like, I think we need to put this on hold for a month. We've been going on 8 dates. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to end. Yeah. I'm like, are you going to be happy? What are you doing? I don't know. You know,
that would break. That would be the only legitimate excuse, like a death in the family or rehab, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, are you gonna go on the run? And you think like, if you lay low for a month, you'd be okay. If you reemerge, like that's cool.
Right. Or the police are after you. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. But like, he was like, and then he didn't want to break up, so I was like, no, we're gonna break up. You know, he says, yeah, I think it's the
put you on hold. You're on the back burner. Backup check.
I was like,
okay,
fuck you. Get into the rotation. Yeah. I mean, I practice my swing, you know, and I'm just a bit like, so, and that's just 2 examples. I actually found with my experience with American guys, like, well, I think they like a more of a like assertive woman. I found, you know,
American?
Maybe
I'm very assertive.
Really?
They're scared of me. They don't like it.
But then you're not meeting the right guys. Like the right guy would be like, oh yeah, I like this. I like
my
this.
My picker is off. I've been told. Ooh. My friends are like, you don't know how to pick after your relationship. I'm like, I don't. If someone likes me, I'm like, okay, ooh, you know. And then I'll talk to them. I'm like,
you're letting them.
I'm like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You. No, and then I'm like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. So then I'm like, bye. So.
Well, like to their face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To their face. I'm not behind their back. Why would I waste my time?
Yeah. True.
So that's probably my problem with dating, right? It's probably my problem with dating, right? If I call guys stupid to their face, I'm like, looking for someone smart and funny and has a job. That's my requirements. Smart, funny, has a job, and a penis would be nice. So that's basically what I'm looking for.
A job now, so you're not going to find anybody with a job now. Smart.
You know, some ambition is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, not lazy asses just want to live off of me and couch surf. Like, come on. Yeah. And there's a lot of that. No, but there is that in LA. You know what I mean? There's like, oh, you're in your 40s, like, you know, hot 20-year-olds are hitting on me. And I'm like, oh, they're not hitting on me because they're attracted to me. They're hitting on me with the hopes of, hey, I'll be their sugar mama. I'm like, that's depressing. That's new. It's new, dating at 40, you know? So, yeah, I know. Okay, so I went on a date. I met 3 guys. So I was kind of seeing like 5. But this is all COVID, right? So it's just talking, right? I'm not really seeing them physically. But I did actually go on a trail walk, like a hike with a guy, a social distance hike last week.
Were you wearing pants?
I was wearing shorts, and I didn't want to wear pants, actually. Very sure, yes, shorts.
You probably shouldn't have. That relationship's already doomed just because you have pants.
Right. Well, you know, it was funny because I didn't want to wear pants. My friend's like, wear pants.
Did you tell him? I was like, I don't want to wear these.
Yeah, I should have told them. To be honest, I normally don't wear pants on the trail, but since we're going on this date, I thought I'd be a little bit modest and just cover up my asshole. My vagina's still out because it needs to breathe, but just my home.
Yeah. Classy.
I don't want you to get any ideas. Yeah. That's exactly what he said. Classy.
Classy.
I'm trying to keep it classy, but it's COVID. Who cares? You know, who cares? Yeah. We're all locked up. So it doesn't matter what I say. You know, it's like you can murder someone now and the police are too busy and the hospitals are too busy dealing with COVID and nobody cares.
That's true.
Want people on the street and stuff. But
you can have one kill during COVID. Yeah.
Totally. That's what I think.
Yeah.
DUI, murder. It doesn't matter. Cat theft. No one's available.
Get it out the way now. Get it out of the way now.
Yeah. Drive drunk. Just get a bottle of whiskey and go behind the wheel.
So, sorry, how was the date then? So you meet this guy. What's the first impression?
A lot younger, a lot skinnier than I expected. I have broad shoulders. I like to date guys that are twice as broad as I am. 6 foot tall, but he's like a thin, lanky kind of runner body. Like he's it turned out lately. Nice, but not my type. You know, I like usually bulky, right? So, you know, good, nice, not bad looking, totally nice, totally like American looking, white, blue eyes. I was like, oh, okay, you're okay. I mean, but I thought he was like bigger guy.
But the photos gave that impression, or that was something you just kind of...
the photos gave the impression, yes.
Okay,
he looked thicker. I think they were really close. So it was like a really skinny dude, which is fine. I mean, I'm sure a lot of girls like that, but I'm not tiny. I have some issues with you know what I mean? I want a guy that's twice as big. I don't want to crush someone like that, right? Anyway, so we went on the hike, but we had a great time. Funny, crack jokes, honest, direct. Go up the hike. I'm like, to me, I saw him. I'm like, there's no connection, no chemistry, right? Yeah. But by the time we got to the top, I was like, okay, we could totally be friends. This is like a good guy. Maybe he's got someone to introduce me to. And he didn't seem like he was into me or he just seemed like he liked me too. Like we were just laughing, had fun. I'm like, okay, cool. I met a friend in COVID. Great. You know? Yeah. We get down and he asked me out on a date again. He's like, oh, would you like to go? You know, he explains to me he doesn't do dinners anymore on a first date because he's just like had so many and he's like, why bother? So he does a hike first and then he's like the second time. So I said, oh, so would you like to go on a hike again? Or he said, you want to do something? So I go, yeah, sure. Do you want to go on a hike again? I'd love to hike with somebody, you know, during this time. He's like, no, we could do something else. So he wanted to take me to dinner. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he told me earlier that he only does that with people he likes. So obviously he likes me, but you know, if I don't sense that at all, it's kind of weird. He's kind of emotionless, you know? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we went, so it was like my second date, I guess. So I went on a date with him last night, but here was the thing. On the last date, or after I called him and I said, hey, I was putting his number from Tinder into my phone. So I'm like, hey, what's your last name? And he goes, why do you want to know that? You don't need to know that. I was like, what? I'm putting it in my phone. He goes, that's not what you need it for. And he goes, now you're making such a big, I said, no, I do. I'm putting it from Tinder into my phone. I just needed the last name to put in. I don't want to put, you know, Joe Tinder. You know what I mean? So, and he's like, you don't need to know. And I said, okay, fine. It's in my phone as Joe Tinder. We went out last night. We went on a hike. I cooked dinner. I said, let's have a picnic. I thought it'd be fun. So I cooked dinner and we brought it up in the hike. And
oh, cute.
Yeah, it was so cute. It was such a nice date. But I got there late because I was working. And I told him there's a chance I might be late. Called him. He was there. Of course, he was there early. I called him an hour ahead of time. So he kind of waited for me like 45 minutes, which I didn't know. And he was upset, but I told him early, like I told him at noon, I said, there is a chance that I might be late because I have to work late, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So he shouldn't have been early. That's on him. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
And I gave him, I said at 5, I said, hey, I need a half an hour. I'm going to be a half an hour late. And he's like, I'm like, if you're, you can pick me up. Right. So he's like, didn't respond. I'm like, oh, that's kind of shitty. I'm making dinner. He could have picked me up if he's early. Right. Like, that'd be nice. But anyways, he didn't respond at all. And then I was in my car, got there, whatever. And then he's like, where are you? I'd like to put something in your car. I'm like,
dead body.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you putting in my car? So he said, well, I had a helmet. He has a motorcycle helmet he wants to put in my car. Okay. So he's like, oh, I didn't want to tell you I had a bike. Who cares? So he had some kind of expensive motorcycle. Like, why the fuck do I care? Well, you're not going to tell me? Like, he's like, that's why I didn't want to pick you up because I had a bike. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that? Like, why are you hiding? So I think he's weird. Yeah, so he's like afraid to tell me about himself for some reason because of money. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just weird that you're being so secretive. Get rid of
this guy.
Yeah. You just think it's weird?
Why do you want my last name? You should have said, fuck off. It's just keep pushing. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay. He's hiding shit. Or even if he has nothing to hide, he's creating this, vibe drama that he does. And it's still... That's weird in itself, what's happened to you that you're like this and you're obviously not, you haven't bounced back. Like to project, like basically it's just like an air of suspicion about you, which I think is quite rude,
interesting. I didn't look at it like that.
Feeling this guy anyway. You said he was too skinny anyway. So then, I mean.
Right. Von's like, come on, I still got a chance. Come on, I can get rid of this guy.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I do respect you because I think sometimes I've met guys and I haven't been attracted to them off the bat. But then I'm like, exactly, they've got something personality-wise going. So maybe get to know them for a little bit, go on a couple of dates or whatever, and then you can decide. Like, yeah, you know what, it hasn't grown, or sometimes the attraction has grown. I mean, I've gone out with some very ugly men.
Yeah.
And I ended up being in relationships with them. Yeah. Because
it's about the energy.
Yeah, and suddenly somebody who, first of all, you never really want to talk to, and then you're like, oh my god, I can't take my eyes off you.
Yeah. So no, I get it. There's the other two guys are not like classically attractive. You know what I mean? That I'm talking about. But there's something about when I talk to them, they're sexy. There's like there's something, there's something there. This guy.
Sorry. This just wanted to touch on this really quickly. This goes back to what you were saying about looks and size 0 and all that shit. So to me, when you emphasize or make that such a priority, it clouds a lot of it. Yeah, it clouds a lot of stuff. So I think it's good that you date somebody that's not, that you would give somebody a chance because they're not that perfect looking,
right?
Or what somebody else might say, oh, why are you dating that guy? Because a lot of us fall into that trap, and I've fallen out of that trap over the last, I don't know, couple of years. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, as long as I'm cool and comfortable with you, I'll date whoever. And like I've had girlfriends where I was like, I wouldn't classify them as, a typical beauty, but the sex is amazing. We have a great time together. There's no drama. There's a whole lot of componentry that goes into a relationship. And if looks are the driving factor and all that other bullshit is still there, then it doesn't matter. I'm not going to enjoy it, and it's not going to last. Not for me anyway.
Yeah, no, and I think you got to get to that point though. I mean, but there has to be some initial attraction. There's something. And for me, it's either the way they speak to me, it's the way they carry themselves, it's the look in their eye. It's not just the looks. My ex was very handsome. I was very attracted to him. He's a good looking guy, and a lot of people are always good looking. He ended up abusing me. He ended up beating the shit out of me. It was like, it wasn't worth it. So for me, it was like, I'm trying everything of the opposite. Like anyone, he had dark hair, dark eyes, Italian. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for like a blonde Aryan, skinny guy. Yeah, exactly. Like Aryan. Right.
That's my type, Aryan.
Exactly. A German, a short Italian from Italy, someone who doesn't speak English, Yeah, so it's just I'm going to be open to just energy and nice things. But I had to go through shit to like realized that I was, you know, maybe a bit too into looks. I'm kind of childlike in the fact that I really am attracted to people physically. And I'm not just talking men, women too. And like, not, I don't date women, but I'm saying even people I'm friends with, I'm initially attracted to something about them. People I do business with, I'm attracted to them in some way. So, yeah, I don't know. I am trying to grow out of that. And I think I've done. So that's the thing with this guy. We had fun. I thought he was smart and he was funny. So I'm like, okay, there's no chemistry, but let's give him another shot. Yesterday, by the time we got up and we had our lunch, we had our picnic up on the top of the trail, it was really nice. He's like, wow, this is so nice. He's like, I've never had anyone do this for me. He's like, the food's fantastic. It's beautiful out. He's like, you look great. And I was like, okay, he does like me. Like, okay, this is nice, you know? But he didn't try holding my hand. He didn't try making any moves. And our hands accidentally touched a couple times on the trail. And I'm like, are you like just awkward in that, or do you not know, you know? So finally I was just like, by the time we walked down on the trail and I'm like, can I just hold your hand just to see?
That's good.
I did. And it was and he's like, oh, your hand's so small. I can barely fit in this. My hand too big for you. And I was like, oh God, it got me to blush. You know, so I'm like, okay, we had a little moment. He's got a really big hand. I was like, maybe I shouldn't judge on the outside.
Wait, just the one big hand? Just the one big hand? The other one's really small.
The other one's like this. It was just a nub. Yeah. One hand, one nub. I'm okay with that. We can work with the nub.
How do you ride a motorcycle like that?
I used to ride the nub. No, just. I really cared more.
Did you get his last name at least?
No! So then that was it. We had a lovely time. I'm like, okay, so I'm glad I gave him a second shot. I'm glad I didn't just like blow him up. Gets home. He rode in his motorcycle. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call him because I want to make sure he got home safely because he has shorts on. And I just a little worried. I called him. We talked. He said, thank you so much. I had such a great time. I said, I'm sorry that I made you wait 45 minutes. I'm glad you waited. And then I was like, so by the way, just one question. What's your last name? I making a joke. He said, I'm not giving it to you. Why do you want to know?
So weird.
He's like,
so weird.
And then he said, why are you making this so weird? He's like, you're making, and I go, wait, don't you want to know my last name? Oh, you think so?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, say that again? What?
He said he has a girlfriend. Yeah.
Maybe
why
he
would somebody have a girlfriend?
Or I'm thinking this guy is really rich. And he doesn't want you looking him up on, really rich. And he doesn't want you looking him up on LinkedIn. And you're like, oh, this guy's got like this really top job. And like maybe like the motorbike thing.
LA,
like, is that the motor?
No, LA people.
No? He would show that off. He would show that off.
That's not they want you to know that shit. That's like a guy with a big dick.
Huge.
Fuck for hours. He's like talking about that shit all the time. So
right, he's wearing it on the outside of his pants, like
wearing as a belt.
He's like, let's go.
He strokes that shit like an iguana at the club.
Right. He's like, let me shake your hand. That's not my hand.
Just my first instinct is that he's hiding something, whether that be a wife or whatever.
A murder, maybe.
It could be, maybe.
I was thinking that the other day, actually.
I was thinking like a police thing, like maybe he robbed a bank or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, after the third date, I would. Well, you can easily I can find them for you if you have a picture of them.
No, I don't care. But I just think it's weird. Like I don't give a shit. I really, honestly,
care. Same. I think you should weird him out. Get Vaughn to find out the name, and then next time you talk to him, you'd be like, Mr. Roberts.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So he wouldn't give it to me, and I'm like, don't you want to know my last name? And he's like, no, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to get to know you. We're just getting to know each other. You're a complete stranger. And I was like. After tonight, I'm thinking we weren't a complete stranger. I thought we were like dating now. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, goodbye. I go, okay, take care. He goes, what? And he was still talking. I'm like, no, take care. I was done. I'm like, why are you going to make me feel bad for asking for your last name? I'm a fucking parent. Yeah. I was married for a long time. I need to have information. I don't want to be out with a fucking murderer. Like, what the fuck? You're going to make me feel bad?
You're an adult.
Yeah,
you're not 20 fucking 2 years old and acting like you're trying to be some sort of international man of mystery and not give out information like a last name as if it's some sort of, it's going to be Trump.
Like, who the fuck you think you are? Yeah, even if you are fucking Brad Pitt, it doesn't matter. I want to know your fucking last name. Like, it's safety for me,
Fair enough.
So I just thought, I was pretty bummed. I was like, wow, I thought I had a good time. He, held my hand. I'm like, oh, it's my second date, and we're like gonna date now. I don't know.
What does he do what does he do for a living, Sue?
He's an IT guy.
He's fucking nothing then. I'm thinking he's maybe like an actor on some Disney show that we just don't know about, and he doesn't want you to like him for his connections, so he's...
Well, maybe he's doing this whole like IT persona, you know what I mean? He doesn't have a surname.
Oh.
I'm like the Madonna of the IT world, I mean, so...
he's like the IT guy.
Yeah. Or
he's like the Elon Musk of the IT world.
I'm the IT it guy. Yeah, that's me. Oh, or like he is some actor, and this is the best like normal like persona he could come up with. Like this is his best like.
Oh, like he could
fake identity.
It could be all fake. That he's not.
It could be a fake. Yeah, but he's I don't know.
Maybe he's a porn star. It is California, and there is a stigma that is attached with being in adult films, and he's saying that he's in IT because he doesn't want you to get the wrong impression about him straight away. So he's saying, yeah, my name
is... what we're saying is he's hiding. He definitely is hiding. He's hiding.
Yeah, then I can't.
I feel like that is absolutely the case.
Weird.
Weird. Why?
What's his first name?
I'm not saying. I don't know. I'm not saying.
Does he have a normal
So
first
what I'm
name?
just saying.
Does he have a normal first name?
Yeah, we'll just say
Bob.
We'll just say Joe Tinder. Joe Tinder.
So he has a normal first name. It's not like
correct. No, right. It's no.
Do you think like he has a really bad surname? Could it be like
Snot Pockets?
Small dick? Small wiener?
Yeah, like Joe Wiener, like
small wienerton.
Yeah, Joe McJoe, and he's like, I've been bullied about my name my whole life. I can't take it anymore.
Wait,
Jack.
How about Joe Stinkerton? Jack Offerson. Joe Assholio.
No.
It's like Joe
No
Name, and it's like no, it's real. It's my surname's No Name. So yeah, I completely.
So you guys are totally fine with me like saying no, goodbye forever. Like I'm done because I thought it was so stupid. He was like fighting with me. He was combative. I'm like,
no, I wouldn't do that.
You're done.
Even if I just give a fake last name, dude.
Yeah,
no, that's weird.
Actually, that would be weirder.
That's weirdo. I think so. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But I think why are you being so like? Oh, now you're just making it weird. Why do you want to know? Like I'm going to do some research. Like, what do you? I don't get it. Like, I'm busy. I don't know what the fuck. I just want to put in my thing. But you're weird.
I think you should go weird on him, and you should be like, I've got a confession. My name's not Susie. Yeah. And just, go like, outweird him, and then be like, how did that feel? It was all fake, kind of thing. Yeah.
That'd be cool. If you want to do that, I can make you like a website, and then you could tell them who you are, and you can tell them like you're like this madam.
Fake persona.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm thinking the name Diana Ross. Yeah. I love it.
You'd be like, I could have rocked your world and shit, and then but fuck you, and then you send it to your website, and he's all this random shit that he's like, oh man,
and then the video at the top saying, "What's your name? What's your name?" Yeah. And it's like that wasn't that ages ago. Like it's not like specific to you.
What's that song? Yeah.
What's your name? Tell me what's your name? What's your name? So
Say my name. Say my name. Yeah. Say my name.
It's like, can't say your name though. Don't know it.
Yeah.
Don't know it. And then I'll be like, it's a Joe. It's a Joe. Joe McToe. I'm like, come on. It's like, we just do this whole, everybody has to put in their guess.
Yes, Joe McFuckerton. Right?
Joe McMuffin. I don't know.
Joe McMuffin. Oh my God, that is so funny, right? Like it's a horrible last name that is just so embarrassing. That is the nicest excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the nicest. So you guys totally think just forget it. Don't even bother, right?
Yeah, he's showing weird symptoms here. It's going to get worse, I think.
Yeah, normally I don't say shit, but ever since J-Rye here had her little escapades with this guy and his drinking shits.
What happened?
She used to date some guy that used to be wilding out when he would start drinking, and I would, she didn't know what to do, and of course, being a non-supportive friend, I didn't say anything about it and just sat here and said, "Oh yeah, we'll just see where it goes, man." And it's
he was an alcoholic.
It deep down inside.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say no, but he basically he's an alcoholic. He's a binge drinker. So
okay.
Yeah, so when he did it, like this really nasty side, not even like if he was a fun drunk, I'd be like,
right,
you know,
he's not one of those,
too.
Right,
exactly. But I'm just like, so
he's the mean
in an asshole. Yeah, so I'm just a bit like,
I don't like that.
And then he was like, he stopped drinking, but I said to him like, okay, I appreciate that effort, but that's not getting to the core of the problem. You've got an inner asshole, and you need to deal with it, because there's some issues that you are stuffing down with Brown occasionally. And it's, you're just repressing it. So, and then, he started to kind of, like, he wouldn't drink. Oh my God, he got judgy with me at one point. And he was like, how many units have you had this week? And I was like, because, honestly, I didn't really drink that much even. Like, sometimes it's like on the podcast and I have 3 beers, I have 3 beers. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah. Like, they're desperados. They're like a 2.2 or something. So, please, like, don't get on this pedestal that you built and your little hypocrisy, kind of thing. So, yeah. And then that's, And actually,
how many units?
Yeah, people told me, they're just like, actually, like, this guy, he used to be a doctor, and he's like, Jenny, I had lots of patients, and like, they don't change, you know what I mean? Unless they get therapy and get down to those issues. So,
wow.
Yeah, and I never think like time is wasted, but I've learned my lesson that, like, as soon as you see that, walk away. And then the way he broke up with me, it was really fitting because he couldn't communicate effectively, and he just broke up with me out the blue. Wow. And I'm just thinking, wow, you know what I mean? It's like, if you can't, that's dangerous, you know what I mean? Because you obviously repress
you can't deal with
things,
his emotions,
and then you just explode. So, and it's been a good, like, that,
that's
what? Actually, when he broke, it's not good. You got to get expressive men that, you tell you exactly what they're thinking. Because, like, I can tell you and I are very, like, we tell people what we're thinking. Yeah. So we need that back, And it's just, it's going to save so many complications down the line. Yeah, you just, like, and I think, like, with this present guy that I'm dating,
someone who can communicate.
Oh my God, it's so important. It's like not even just emotions, just a bit like, for example, especially in the beginning stages, like, I love, like, things that are like, hey, you know what, I've got a really busy day, but I'm going to message you towards the end. You're like, because exactly you're thinking, like, you're just like, okay,
just let me know.
Ignoring, and like, I just love.
Are you mad at me? What's going on?
Yeah. And then, like,
totally.
You take all the, like, mind games that you kind of, like, inflict on yourself,
right,
kind of thing out. They're like, no, I'm just gonna set that as, you don't need to go there. And then, like, hey, I just want to let you know my schedule. You're like, yes,
yeah.
So you're thinking
so nice.
of fitting me
I do.
in,
I like that.
Oh my god. I love a grown ass man. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Good adulting. Yeah. Good adulting.
You hear that?
Good adulting.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't
communicate. Don't play games.
Communicate. Don't play games. If you're gonna be on the dating sites, you gotta be ready to open up, or else they're gonna close the door in your face. We're out of time, ladies. Thanks for joining us today. It is us from LA to the UK. Joining us from LA is Susie Sitcom. She's single.
Follow me.
She's
single,
guys.
Don't know how to date. Have no clue how to date.
If you're looking
she's gonna get the cleave out.
Some LA action. Word on the street is that she's got big titties. So if you're into that, you can hook that shit up. She doesn't like to wear pants. So if you're into a chick that wants to lay around naked with you all the time,
vacuum in the nude.
Sitcom is your girl. Susie, shout out your social medias where people can find you, please.
At Susie Sitcom. At Susie Sitcom on Instagram. Is that right?
As simple as that. See, we already know Jenny Rye from Global Warning Podcast. You can hit her up on Love, Lust, and Lunacy on that podcast, and follow at Global Warning Podcast as well.
Jenny Rye, I need her Instagram too, right?
And well, she'll.
I don't even know my Instagram.
I was gonna say, I don't know if she knows what her Instagram is.
Okay, so I'll share with you afterwards, but like, yeah,
okay,
I just started, like, I ignored it for like 10 years, and now I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna hit that up. So yeah, okay, we'll connect.
Yeah, I've been connecting to so many people during COVID on Instagram. I've had like people DM, and I've actually talked to them because I'm bored, you know. So I've met some of these people. A lot of people from England, though, actually, too.
Oh, you trying to like hit up the guys? You're like, hey,
yeah, the guys
talk to me.
I did. An artist out there. Yeah, I was just like, what are you doing? Like that accent. Send me some voice messages.
Excellent. So get in touch with these ladies wherever you can, wherever you can find them. If you don't have a last name, don't apply. Thanks for listening.